Welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. I know it's been a long time. I've been busy. I've been busy with things. I just wanted to come on here because I wanted to talk about in this episode about what happened on Raw. There's a bunch of stuff that happened that I think is worth mentioning or things that I enjoyed. So I'm just gonna go ahead and just add it all in one video instead of doing each thing for each video. So one of the things I would like to talk about that happened on Raw August 26, 2024 is there is going to be a tournament for the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship match. So whoever wins this match will go against Braun Breaker. How this tournament goes is there's going to be 4 triple threat matches, and each winner of those 4 matches will have a fatal 4-way, and the person who wins the fatal 4-way will be the number one contender for the Intercontinental title. 2 matches that happened on Raw was one of the matches was Pete Dunne versus Xavier Woods versus The Miz, where Pete Dunne advances. So congratulations to Pete Dunne. And then we had the other match, which was Kofi Kingston versus Karrion Kross versus Jey Uso, where Jey Uso advances, where Jey Uso won, and he will advance, so he will be part of the Fatal 4-Way with Pete Dunne. I don't know who the other 2 matches are, but we'll find out next Monday, I believe. And then after that, I don't know if the match, whoever wins this match is going to have the match at Bad Blood. I would like to see it at Bad Blood, so I would hope that would happen, but we'll see. But I would like to talk about a little bit about Jey Uso. Well, not really Jey Uso, but Rikishi. He has been like pretty much, I guess he said he's been pretty much disappointed in the booking of his son Jey Uso, because I guess he's not Rikishi thinks he's not getting the best storylines on Raw, and I'm just like, timing is everything. He's going to be part of like one of the biggest storylines ever in like WWE history, I believe, soon with the Civil War. You just have to wait. But I can understand his frustrations, especially when he has had ample of opportunities to become champion, and they haven't done it yet. I do believe he will be singles title not soon, but eventually. So I could see that happening, maybe even after this whole Civil War thing is settled and stuff like that. But yeah, everything has to be like, everything's timed. Everything has to come in a certain time, and I think Rikishi just needs to let Triple H cook, marinate, simmer, whatever, But yeah, I think it's gonna happen. But I just want to, that's all I have to say about that. The next thing that I would like to discuss is the match between Braun Strowman versus Bronson Reed. Man, what an amazing match. Now, as you may or may not know, I'll give you a little recap. Bronson Reed has been causing havoc everywhere. He at one point put Seth Rollins in his tsunami finisher, which is basically, if you don't know, him going off the top ropes and just pretty much like doing like a big old splash on his opponent, and he did that 6 times to Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins is out. He did it again with R-Truth, when R-Truth was trying to stop Bronson Reed from doing it to The Miz. He was going to do it to The Miz at one point when The Miz and Bronson Reed had a match last Monday. But then Braun Strowman came out and pretty much saved The Miz, and then Bronson Reed ended up leaving, where they end up having a match where they had a match on Raw this week. And man, what a great match. This was like I don't know, like an elephant fighting a freaking rhino or something. Like, it was just, or a mammoth fighting like a rhino or something like that. It was just two big behemoth men just fighting each other. It was so damn good. It was just, yes, this big men slapping meat. And anyway, it ended up being that Bronson Reed ends up leaving the ring. It's like, you know what? I don't want no more of this. Forget it. He's going up the ramp. As he's going up the ramp, here comes Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman hits him from behind, and they start fighting on the ramp, and they fight on the stage. And at one point, like, Bronson Reed, like, got away from Braun Strowman, and, like, as he was getting away from Braun Strowman, they had, like, security guards trying to stop Braun Strowman. Like, okay, well, you could imagine how that would go. You could imagine how that went. Not well for the security guards. Anyway, so they ended up fighting in backstage, and then they ended up fighting towards the parking lot. There was a bunch of cars, and there was like this big old wall with like trees or bushes or whatever. At one point, Braun Strowman body slammed Bronson Reed on the car, and he picked up something kind of looked like, I don't know, kind of looked like a bike rack, like, you know, where you like you would like lock your bikes up at. Kind of looked like a bike rack. He picked it up, threw it. Bronson Reed got out the way, and he threw it at the car, and then they were fighting, and then Bronson Reed slammed Braun Strowman onto the car at one point. And then Bronson Reed like got a lead pipe and like was beating Braun Strowman with a lead pipe, and then he was like on top of the car, and Bronson Reed climbed up on the car, climbed up on the wall, stood on the wall, and tsunami'd Braun Strowman onto the car. Oh my goodness. I have no words. It was so good. And then, you know, here comes Adam Pearce, calls for the medic and stuff like that. I could totally see these two guys going at it again. I don't think this is the end. I can see this feud going on. This is amazing. Oh my god, it was so good. I don't know if it was a double count out or no contest or whatever it was, but man, it was amazing. It was so good. I loved it. I cannot wait to see these two go at it once again. I'm all for it. Alright, so another thing that I want to talk about was the last thing I wanted to talk about. We finally got the debut match for Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy went against Chad Gable in the main event on Raw. Chad Gable came out. Uncle Howdy came out by himself. Uncle Howdy had like the coat, the mask, and the hair and everything else. He took off the coat, and it was just him like wearing like a black sleeveless shirt, black, like looked like black jeans, had like a black wrist arm sleeve band with like with a glove. I don't know if he had it on both arms, but he definitely had it on one arm. The mask was like, it was only like half his face, so you can totally tell it's like you could wrestle in it, right? It wasn't like constricting him from wrestling. It wasn't like, you know, when the Fiend was like, when Bray Wyatt was talking about being the Fiend and how hard it was to wrestle in that mask and everything else. It was a pretty thing. The only thing that I didn't like about the whole thing was the hair, because I don't know if they need to cut the hair a little bit or put it in like a ponytail or do a little something to it, because the hair was constantly like, he had to constantly like move it out of his face, which I guess was a little bit distracting. I mean, after a while it wasn't distracting, but at first it was. Another thing that I really like about this match was that it wasn't a match where Uncle Howdy was constantly just dominating the match. At one point, it was like Chad Gable was pretty much dominating the match. It's not like The Fiend or like even like Alexa's character, where it's just like theatrics or like there's magic or anything else. No, it was just like there's no like the Uncle Howdy doesn't have no superpowers. You know what I mean? It's just a regular good match. It was just a good match back and forth and everything else. It ended up being Um, Chad Gable had Uncle Howley at one point in an ankle lock, and Uncle Howley reversed it. When he reversed it, he kicked Chad Gable into the ref, and this is when Uncle Howley gave the mandible claw to Chad Gable, and the Creed brothers pulled Uncle Howley out of the ring. They started beating him up. They threw him against the barricade. As he was throwing him against the barricade, as the Creed brothers were attacking Uncle Howley. Here comes the members of White Six. They came out and they pretty much attacked the Creed brothers. And then here comes Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile jumps on Eric Rowan. Eric Rowan was like, I don't care, like a mosquito, whatever. Like, you know, he didn't throw her. Okay, guys. He still had her all, like, he talked her on his back. And she was on his back. And he was just still fighting, right? So they all fought to the audience where they end up disappearing. Chad Gable ends up throwing Uncle Howley back into the ring, and I think he was about to go for his finisher. As he was, Uncle Howley caught Chad Gable, put him into position for the Sister Abigail, and let me just tell you that Sister Abigail, like, I don't know if Bo Dallas has been practicing that Sister Abigail day in and day out. I have no idea, man, but man, that Sister Abigail, mwah, beautifully executed. Beautifully done. And the sale that Chad gave that, oh man, just it was so beautiful. This was like the first match that Bo Dallas, Uncle Howley has Bo Dallas has been in. And the last match, ironically enough, that Bo Dallas was in was like a 6 tag team match, and when Chad Gable was Shorty G. So you know Bo Dallas ended his match with Chad Gable and came back and started his match with Chad Gable. Incredible. But they did this amazing job. Uncle Howley got the pin, you know, and it was so good. Like I said, I really enjoyed it because I like it because it's just a regular match. Uncle Howley does not have any special powers or anything like that. I think it worked at the time for, maybe not for The Fiend, but for Alexa Bliss. It worked for her to have these special powers because it was COVID and most of the matches that were there were already pre-recorded. So there was no audience and we can do all this other little cool stuff. This is why when they had the Royal Rumble where they had people, they had to get rid of Alexa Bliss like right away because she couldn't do her little magic stuff and all the other stuff, so they had to get rid of her right away. But yeah, I think I really enjoyed this match. I don't know if this is the end with the Wyatt Six versus the American Made, which is Chad Gable's new stable. Not sure. I don't know. I can also see the Wyatt Six going after Judgment Day. But yep, I think they did a good job. I think the only problem that I really had was with the hair. You know, it was everywhere. You know, they fixed the hair part. But like this was his first match, and it was just to see how it goes. Now, I am pretty sure that Triple H does listen to like people's criticisms online and everything else, and hopefully he'll listen to this one. But like I said, the match was great. The match was perfect. I love the match. It's just the hair. The hair was just a little bit too much. But yeah, that is all. Thanks so much for watching this long video. I didn't mean to make it too darn long, hopefully, but I will see you on Thursday on the prediction show for T2T Wrestling. Until then, if there's anything else that I see that I like and I want to talk about it, I will talk about it. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye!